All right, good morning, chat. I hope you can hear me. Yes, I think everything is good. Testing stuff out with the new loading screen. Hope you enjoy it. Anyway, welcome back. Good evening. It is 9 p.m. on a hot June 16 summer evening. We have Bitcoin's current price action chilling over here at 107,194. We have just experienced a dip in the past couple of hours. The lowest point, 106,078. And clearly bouncing off of this invalidation key zone of where we would flip our trend back to bullish. Now, this drop, we slowed down over here at our pivot level, that 106,000 mark, and we're currently bouncing back up above that section once again. Now, what has caused this fear, of course, is, fears that we may once again get another attack from Israel toward Iran, and maybe even with the help of the United States. Something fishy is going on in the background here. They're saying that they're not going to get involved. There's all this drama with Trump, and now it's Tucker Carlson about whether or not, he's putting America first and stuff like that. We don't really know. So there's a big preparation for stuff that might be happening soon. And like I said, I have some articles on it. We'll touch on that subject. But for now, we'll go through, of course, our technical analysis. This is what this section is for. So you may notice over here I have three very important lines that kind of converge with each other and sort of matching with what we could see with this super trend. I still think we are in a bull market, don't get me wrong, and that this is a little temporary because there is talks of trade deals that could be happening. It's just that tonight, this specific night, might be a little shaky because we might be expecting something, right? So what I'm looking at over here is this. So this would be the super trend. This is also an important level. This is our previous all-time high. It converges. It matches with 110,000 approximately. Converges with this downtrend that we've got over here. And of course a first resistance from our pivot levels for this week, which I strongly believe, whether we have a dip tonight or not, which I'm expecting we will, we can easily bounce up and test this area and then break out of that from here. And this is something I mentioned in my previous stream as well. This area seems to be key, in my opinion. We shall see how that turns out. For now, we must brace for impact, as I put in the title. Because I think that, war obviously is not bullish for Bitcoin and crypto. They're considered risk assets, and they tend to be the first ones that get sold off. Other stuff like oil and gold are the first to rise during these scenarios for whatever reason. People think it's safe, I guess, whatever. Either way, that money will come flowing back once things settle down nonetheless, which do present good buying opportunities for Bitcoin. And you'll notice that the dip that we had was the first night that I streamed this little war thing that was going on. We kind of recovered from that, most of it, right? We even hit 100, almost 109,000. That was where our resistance level was. 109, then we're looking at 110 next. So it's seeming like, there's more confidence in Bitcoin this time around. Not so much for the altcoins because, even if we do check like market cap dominance between Bitcoin and the rest of the assets, the altcoins, not the rest of the assets, you'll notice that it's about BTC exclamation D something. What is it? Bitcoin dominance. BTC.D, that's what it is. Yeah, it's on the rise, right? 64%, almost at a very high level where it was before. When was this? This was May. We don't got to worry about this. Month over month, this current month in June, we're at one of our highest levels right now, right? Although some altcoins, like I said, they are still cheap, so we're seeing a little bit of a decline. Very, very tiny, but that's likely people just starting to buy the dips, right? fair enough. No problems there. But you'll just notice like Bitcoin dominance is still high. We still haven't had our alt season. It's bound to come very soon. So we just got to be patient for that. So I wanted to mention for this. All right, cool. What else is new? So yeah, this dip just happened. I am currently shorting the market. You can see right over here. You've obviously never heard of this coin before. Neither have I. Bad decision, in my opinion, from entering it. I'll analyze my entries and why I sort of regret my decision, but it's whatever. I still expect to make profit from it nonetheless. We had a good rise over here. What percentage rise was this? A 24% rise. I'm like, hey, 24% rise on a token. It's overbought, right? We're above the RSI levels there. So I decided to short the market over here, expecting to make a quick profit. This would have made me $100. But it didn't. It kept on rising, and I was really wrong. It rose another... Well, I'm not going to measure it that way, but like this way. 27, 23%. Today it's up 12%. It's kind of on its way back down, however. And you'll notice a lot of rejection candles right over here, which signify some sell pressure. So I decided to sell once again over here. What this did is it moved my average buying price, combining these two lines, and it's now this red line is my average price, right? So that way I'll be in neutral territory, not even at the red line, because this is the area where I made mistakes. I didn't pay too much attention to the funding rates on this. You get charged a funding fee every 4 hours on this. You can check that right over here. And the percentage is negative, which means that people who are in short positions will have to pay people that are in long positions. And this percentage was much bigger. It was almost 2%, like 1 full percent. It's not decimals like you're seeing right now. It's sort of calmed down right now, which is a good thing for my scenario, right? I don't have to pay much. And I'd rather this be positive to not pay commission, right? And in lieu of that, I'm already paying almost $100 worth of funding fees, which is just abhorrent. So realistically, if this is a $400 profit, which used to be $100 just from a drop like this, which it did not happen, right? If I shorted right over here, we did not get this level, unfortunately. I was just expecting to go in a quick in and out, right? $100 profit easy. No, the whale accumulation kept on going until now, right? I think it's sort of slowed down a little bit over here. I almost did get liquidated as well. My liquidation price changes, and based off of every 4 hours, you're getting charged that funding fee. And this is something that I just dislike with what do you call these? Perpetual futures, right? Compared to standard futures. Standard futures will set your liquidation price at whatever the original price was, right? And it won't change from there unless you add your margin to it. But you still will get charged those funding fees, and it doesn't discount the amount of margin that you put in compared to the funding fees that get taken off of the account, right? I put $2,000 in here, and I have a margin of $1,902. Why? Because $94.95 is getting put towards the funding, towards the commission that I would have to pay eventually. That's why it's saying my realized profit and loss, my P&L, it's already negative right off the bat. So if I was to sell right now, my unrealized amount would be 130 minus 95. That would be whatever, 200, and I can't do the math. Maybe 300. I don't even know. But you get the point, right? But thanks to that, like my liquidation price goes from here to down here every 4 hours, and then now it's like over here. It all depends on this percentage, which can change every time, right? Maybe if this goes positive, my liquidation price will rise a little bit. Maybe it'll go over here. So whenever I'm trying to reinforce my positions, I have to be cautious of that and keep that in mind. Because if I say I'm going to be slick over here, and I'm going to put a trigger order right over here, very close to where my liquidation price is, so that when the market like goes up like this, I will actually short the market over here. It'll average my price out from wherever this is to wherever this is. So my entry price will be over here, and my liquidation price will be like, I don't know, maybe up there now. But that's not usually the case, because liquidation price can drop as, you know, time passes. And God forbid you get liquidated first before you enter your second trigger order that you had up there. So You know, stuff like that can happen, and it almost did happen with this one. I was just a couple pennies off of getting liquidated first before I was able to execute a trigger order. So luckily what I did is I moved my trigger order down. You'll notice that I entered my short position right over here at $9, 9 cents, right? We're not talking about dollars, we're talking cents. So at 9 cents is where I entered my second position, which averaged the prices out from here and here to right in the middle, right over here. So once we cross this, I will have positive unrealized profit and loss. But I still need to cover for the commissions, so realistically I'd be positive a little bit lower, right? Maybe over here. To cover for the $94. Once that happens, you know, hopefully we get a drop like this, which I think is very likely, right? You see it multiple times. Sharp rise, slow decline. Sharp rise, slow decline. We're currently experiencing the sharp rise. We already experienced, rather, the sharp rise, and we're currently experiencing the slow decline, so we shall get there eventually. I'm just hoping that these funding fees aren't so devastating. It all depends on who's currently winning, the shorters, or the bears or the bulls, right? Instead of shorters and longers, that's a mouthful. But, you know, once I hit here, I'll be making 423, but paying maybe $100. So I'd realistically be making, if I'm lucky, $300 of profit in this, which I don't mind. Either way, it's fine. I'm putting my money to work. It's whatever. And hey, even if this does continue rising, like I said, I'll have to put another trigger order. And this time I'll try to be a little bit more conservative with it. I'll probably put it over here at 10. Seems safe for now that the funding rates have kind of cooled down a little bit. That's probably what I'm going to do. So let me just go back over here, go to limit. I have another 1,000 to reinforce my position, right? And worst comes to worst, like I'll just transfer money from my, what do you call it? My standard futures account, which I have more money in there, just to reinforce any positions if necessary, but it's usually not necessary, and I'm okay with this account getting, the whole account getting liquidated, because I'll just transfer another 2,000 and start trading with those. And with this, like you're very more likely, what's more likely to happen? A drop of 12%, especially on a night where we're expecting an attack, or just another 30% rise for the third consecutive day in a row, which, come on, like, really? But to do that, of course, this is a very, very low market cap token, which was the other regret that I had, right? The first regret was the limit thing that I had over here, and me just entering this position without doing too much research. I was just looking at mainly the price action, right? I was looking at, okay, sharp rises and then easy decline, sharp rise, decline, sharp rise, decline, sharp rise. It's obviously going to decline, right? So that's what that was my mindset. But if you go look at this, it has like a market cap of very low. It's under $100 million. Once you understand what market cap amounts is, just like think of the amount of money in total that is being put into this token. Bid is the token creator bid. It's number 777 with a market cap of, where are you? 22 million. And that is really low, in my opinion. $22 million is not a lot of money. I would consider 100 million or more to be better, which by that point you're looking at the number being 300 plus, right? So I've made that now noted. I've learned from this mistake as part of my strategy now. So in the future, I will be looking at tokens that are rising a lot, because these can rise a lot with literally just a simple small amount of purchase from a whale, right? I say small, but it's a couple $1 million, sure. And more whales can start piling on, and this can continue rising much further because it is a low market cap coin. If the whales do decide to purchase this. I checked why. I think it was an upbit listing. That's why it started rising. What was it? You can check CMC AI to see why it's rising. No, never mind. Oh, it must have been something else I was looking at. Yeah, but really no big news from this. Platform utility, sure. The tokenomics incentivize holding doesn't tell you much, right? Technical breakouts, that's just bogus. And sector rotation, I mean, if we're getting that sentiment from the broader crypto market, You'll see Bitcoin is on, it did have its rise today, sure, most tokens rallied, but now we're kind of coming down again because we're expecting a bit of a fight to happen later tonight, maybe. So I would expect this to drop nonetheless. But yeah, that's what I'm looking for next time when I'm looking for tokens to short. You check the change over here. This is crazy. ZKJ. This is the volume. It's not the market cap. Don't get confused by it. But ZKJ, 73%. You can just like quickly research ZKJ. ZKJ. Polyhedra network. Hey, this is not too bad. Okay, what is this? What is this rug pull? I would not invest in something like this, honestly. Hey, maybe I would. Just short it, right? I say invest because I don't want to buy that. But I would short it. So what happened over here? I had a 96% crash triggered by liquidity attacks. There were 3 wallets drained. That's not good. Winter minute deposits. They moved to exchanges during the crash. Liquidation cascade, $99 million plus in leveraged positions got wiped out according to Look On Chain. Rebound mirrors patterns seen in assets like Mantra, which saw a 500% bounce before resuming its downtrend. That's what I'm looking for, right? A big bounce back up, positive bounce like we're seeing right now. It's a 70% increase today, right? Before resuming its downtrend. And it kind of seems like what is going on right over here. So that's something I would probably short, right? I'm not going to right now because I'm already in a position and I have to reinforce it before, continuing. And a matter of fact, I said I was going to do that and I kind of forgot. So let me do that. 0.1 would be my entry price. Drop $1,000. Short position, make sure you're doing 3x leverage. That's the most I would really go for. And there we have it. So if price does continue to rise for whatever reason, it should hit my trigger price first, ideally, as long as my liquidation price doesn't get pushed further down. But I think we should be safe with a distance like this, maybe 4 or 5% difference. And this should push my liquidation price a little bit higher, a little bit. And also my entry price also a little bit higher, which, you have big spike ups and then push down once again. And hey, if we hit this exact number over here, the profit's going to be significantly larger, maybe $800, right? I don't know. We'll see how things play out, but I do want to be safe with it, so I put that trigger order there ready. And yeah, once I take profit, once my limit order. Okay, cool. I also have a bonus, and like I said, I'll put my money where my mouth is. I'll take advantage of this little pump that we're having right now. Go to my favorite token, SUI, use bonus. Yeah. Fast bonus order. We'll go short. And should be good. 5x. $2, 5x. That's so much money. Okay. Great. So that's what we got for Bitcoin. 107,000 up 1.94%. Ethereum's up 2.22% and 2,580 is the current price. Also, after experiencing a sharp decline, the highest point today was 2,679. What do we got to say about Ethereum? It's holding very strong. I will give it credit for that. Especially this high that we reached, 2,878. That was really cool. But this drop, like, what is going on over here, man? Drops like this is what scares people from Ethereum. You just don't even know anymore. Solana is hardly moving today. Well, it did move. It did make its move. It's just we're at the exact same point where we were 24 hours ago, and it's at $151.29. XRP, it's still maintaining itself in the range, by the way, Solana. XRP also kind of in its little range. Hey, it flipped bullish because it broke this downtrend. So now we do have this uptrend to maintain. It seems like this low level that I marked over here seems to have worked. Downtrend broken. We can celebrate for XRP, but probably not too early. No, I think we could celebrate early. We could suffer a 5% drop and be totally fine with XRP. Did I say the price? 224 and up 4.37%. That's not too bad at all. Highest point today was 233. This 230 is a significant resistance that we do have to break out of. Unfortunately, we don't... Maybe with like a daily candle, we're not even able to close above that. Am I right? Or am I right? Maybe once, but it didn't last very long, right? So it's going to take a moment, but we shall get there eventually. Just close above 230 and stay above it. That's all I really want to see for XRP. Matter of fact, do I even have it marked? 230, 230. No, I don't. Let me get this horizontal line because I want to see it. Let me edit the coordinates. 2.3. There we go. Yes. We'll see how that plays out. SUI, it's at $3 exact. My short position is already in profit. I'm just that good at predicting the market. No, not really. We're still in a downtrend for SUI, though. This is what prevails over here. This uptrend did get broken. You can see this banger profit I took over here was only $15, 15%. That's pretty funny. Yeah. We're gonna need a new floor. Hopefully it's this. Was this the first attack? Yes, it was. 14th of June. No, it wasn't. This was the first attack. June 12th. We just dropped a little further for no reason over here. But still, like I said, downtrend prevails. We're looking to break out of 332 in order to resume our uptrend. Current resistance is the pivot level at 312. And our current price is 301. Litecoin is up 2.08%. Price is $87.36. It does have a little good healthy recovery over here. The drop was not so significant. It's the 87 is also an important level for Litecoin, a level that I've been mentioning for a moment now. We do have a couple downtrends to break out of nonetheless, and resistance and validation at 90, resistance at 92, etc. So we'll see how that plays out. Cardano is still in its downtrend. This uptrend is broken. Gonna have to readjust possibly. I can't see. Probably here. I don't like where this is because it doesn't give much room for Cardano to drop before this little fake uptrend that we got gets broken once again. What do we got? 58. This is support. That's a little too far. Wouldn't surprise me though. 8% drop. Depends on what happens. Depends on what happens tonight, overnight. They say something big is gonna happen, so let's talk about it, okay? We also have big stuff happening this week. You probably already know the FOMC meeting is coming up soon. We will also be getting projections of how many rate cuts we'll be getting. That'll be important to see because it would determine, you know, if we're still going to get 2 rate cuts as previously projected, markets would be fine. If you're only getting less than that, like 1 or even 0, markets will crash. It's going to be horrible. Or if we're expecting a lot more, if, you know, Jerome Powell decides to play nice with Donald Trump and concede to his requests, then we should see a very beautiful pump. I don't think it will happen, though, realistically. I just summarized this post in my brain. That's crazy. Bank of Japan also had its meeting today. I really don't know what's going on with Bank of Japan. And World War III on Thursday. What is that talking about? That's pretty funny. Today's Tuesday, and it seems like it's going to happen today. So, yeah. In terms of what we're expecting for the rate cuts of this week, we're not expecting to get a rate cut. Is it like a 90-something high % chance that we're not going to get a rate cut? New profile picture, by the way. Hope you enjoyed that. I love it. What is this? Get out of here. All right. Let me go to FedWatch. Flashbang warning. My bad. 1 day, 16 hours left. And okay, this keeps on changing. Why do you keep on changing? There was like a percentage, a very, like this 0.2% chance was over here on this side where we were actually expecting a rate hike. A very, very minuscule, like, although it's, the probability of it is so tiny, it was there and it was like, what is going on? But nonetheless, what we're expecting later on is rate cuts in September and then December. Same stuff as always. All right. Today we opened green, as you saw. Why did it happen? Maybe the market knew something. We'll see what this says. Stock market on the Israel-Iran war. I think it was just a general, them taking a breather of, okay, we know we're in a war, but okay, we need a green day. We'll just make that on Monday. While all of the headlines point to more escalation and a longer war, the stock market says the exact opposite. The equity markets turned green. Oil prices are up only a tiny %. Gold is down a tiny %. They kind of slowed down their movements. If the market was truly concerned about a long-term conflict, oil prices would already have crossed to $100 a barrel. For reference, it's about like 60, maybe 7. Did we cross 70 yet? I have not checked. Crude oil. Yeah, we're at 70. This is a 1-minute chart. We spiked up to 77 on the most extreme day, June 12, when you'll notice June 12 was the worst day for Bitcoin. Not like worst day, but you know, ever since this war stuff has been going on, June 12 was the hardest, right? So June 12 Bitcoin drop, June 12 oil jump. That's kind of what the correlation that goes on there. For now, it appears the market believes a peace deal is on the horizon. The market is telling us something. I think really like gold, Bitcoin, oil, great investments, right? You could DCA like into all three. When some war scenario breaks out, you know gold and oil is going to shoot up and Bitcoin is going to drop. You would sell it, balance out your portfolio to make it all, I was going to say 50, but that doesn't add up to 100. 33%, 33%, and 33%, right? A third to each. And level that out where you take the profits from gold and oil and you buy the dips in Bitcoin. Likewise, when stuff are rising, even gold could possibly be rising as well, just because you could take some profits off of Bitcoin and maybe buy oil when it's also cheap. Oil will never go to zero. Maybe it can that one time that there was a little trade war. But that was once in a never thing. If like oil prices went negative at one point, if you didn't know. There's a whole story behind it. I don't remember the specific details, so I'm not going to pretend I'm smart. But yeah, that's likely not going to happen. It's relatively safe to invest into oil, although you shouldn't go like all in, right? But cool way to do. That's an interesting way to balance your portfolio, right? With just those three assets. In my opinion, I'm just putting that out there. Not a financial advisor, not saying you should do that, but it's a cool idea. Something I just thought of. There you go. Did I delete this off my bookmarks? I did not. Look at that catch. Keir Starmer from England visited Canada. I think I showed that last time I streamed. Guess who joined the party? Donald Trump. Apparently it was supposed to be a meeting for them two, right? Trump and UK president here in Canada. Of course, Mark Carney was there and just being a little goofy guy, but it's whatever. But Trump and the UK, they agreed on a tariff-cutting deal, with the agreement expected to be finalized at the G7 summit in Canada. News from today. When is that happening? G7 summit in Canada? Summit in Canada. When? June 16 to June 17. Okay, so even until tomorrow. I think it was today already that they've reached something. Trending now, Trump and Mark Carney. Yeah, because Trump has already left Canada by now. But he arrived yesterday. I saw the news for that. Cool. Trump had a phone call with Vladimir Putin, and they agreed that conflict should end after an hour-long phone call on Israel and Iran, right? We already know that the United States has rejected Netanyahu's request for them to join the war against Iran. The American people, you're seeing it everywhere. They're saying America first. We demand peace. We don't want to get involved in a war with Iran. Trump said, something along the lines of, oh yeah, you got to let him fight it out for a little bit, and then maybe we'll step in to mediate things. And it seems like that could be what is going to be happening very soon tonight, based off of other headlines that I'm going to share. What else did I want to say about this? Oh yeah, Putin. I mean, he must have told Trump, like, hey, tell your dogs to chill, right? The Israelis tell them to, stop going to war against the people in Iran. Because, obviously, Iran is backed by China, by Russia, by North Korea, and most of the BRICS countries, right? But ultimately, Trump said no. Right? He's not getting the United States involved, and he's just saying let him fight it out, right? Let's see what happens. Of course, he is being informed, right? Trump gets informed from Israel about what's going on, but they're technically not really participating in the war, and I say technically for a reason we'll talk about. And so, you know, Putin and Russia, it seems like they will also stay out of it for now. That is what the kind of the good news is. We did get a bit of an alluding to from North Korea, right? Saying, hey, if United States gets involved, we're getting involved as well. And that's where the World War would really start. So the key to World War III, technically not starting, is the United States not getting involved. Because if the United States gets involved, obviously Iran cannot against Israel and the United States combined. They're obviously going to lose. So they're going to get their buddies to help them. Russia, China, North Korea, BRICS. And that's where it's going to cause the conflict of World War III, right? So we're technically not fully in it right now. And this has been Trump's official stance, is that they should make a deal, and they will make a deal, is what he said. This is what caused some optimism a little bit in the markets. Like, okay, cool. Trump thinks that they're going to make a deal, and Trump right always. So we listen to Trump and we pump market. That's what's happened today. Just like he got India and Pakistan to make, he's taking credit for that. In that case, by using trade with the United States to bring reason, cohesion, and sanity into the talks with the two excellent leaders who were able to quickly make a decision and stop. Also, during his first term, he brings up Serbia and Kosovo were going at it hot and heavy, as they have for many decades, and the long-time conflict was ready to break out into war, and he stopped it. Biden has hurt the longer-term prospects with some very stupid decisions, but Trump will fix it again. Another case was Egypt and Ethiopia, right? He's just giving a lot of examples, saying, look, I was able to stop their fight. There's now peace, at least for now, because of his interventions, and it will stay that way. And likewise, he will have peace soon. He's promising us between Israel and Iran. Many calls and meetings are now taking place. He's doing a lot. He never gets credit for anything, but that's okay. The people understand. Make the Middle East great again is what he's saying now. All right. Grok says some of it is exaggerated, but hey, Trump is what's moving the markets these days, right? We're all looking at what Trump's saying. Forget your intelligent investor books, anything you've ever studied about price action. You look at Trump Twitter and Truth Social now to figure out what to do in the markets. That seems to be what trading is like in 2025. All right. Trump is also, this is when it gets a little suspicious now. Trump is saying all this stuff like, oh, they're going to come to a deal. There will be peace in the Middle East. Don't worry, guys. And then he puts this out. Trump has advised Iranians to evacuate from Tehran. Also, that G7 meeting that we talked about, he left that early. He left Canada already. He told his National Security Council to meet with him at the White House upon his return tonight. What is about to happen? He posted this on Truth Social. Iran should have signed the deal I told them to sign. What a shame and a waste of human life. Simply stated, Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. I said it over and over again. Everyone should immediately evacuate Tehran. Why is he calling for people to evacuate? Why did Trump also say, now is a great time to buy the stock market, and then minutes later, the stock market pumped like never before? Because he paused the tariff deals. Remember that? Maybe we should listen to Trump. I mean, this is just another example, and we're gonna see tomorrow. By tomorrow, right? I told you so. Is gonna be what happens. So, oh man, yeah, he doesn't say stuff like this unless something big is in play, right? So now people are scared. This post that came out at 6:30 is what caused this little drop right over here. Like, okay, what is going to happen? Nothing really happened yet. That's why I'm expecting it to happen tonight. It seems like these guys like fighting each other at 3 a.m., 4 a.m. their time, which is like, what is 10, 11 our time. So we'll see what happens. I think it's coming up in the next upcoming hours. I could be wrong. I don't know when these guys are going to attack. I'm not them. But it's going to happen soon. It's also now China saying they're calling for their citizens to leave Israel immediately. And this is also a little bit concerning because, okay, why doesn't China ask their citizens to leave Iran immediately when we know that maybe Israel and the United States will be attacking Iran. I'm saying maybe because there's speculation of it. United States might get involved. So if that's the case, maybe China will also get involved, like I said, if the United States gets involved. And obviously, they're going to have to counterattack whatever happens tonight with Iran. China will then have to help Iran bomb Israel. That's where they're probably calling for their citizens to get out of there. So, there's also this. Trump orders for the Situation Room to be prepared. Of course, a very important meeting room. What are they going to discuss? What are they planning? Polymarket is going crazy. There's a 67% chance now that the United States will take imminent military action against Iran. People are speculating like, okay, United States is probably going to get involved in here now. Even though they're trying to reaffirm everyone, okay, guys, don't worry. The United States is not actively participating in Israeli offensive operations at this time. I think that is bogus. It's copium. We're already, that's probably why, from this low point, 106,000, we just rose back up to 107 again. Like, okay, guys, relax. The United States will not get involved because the United States said so. Not confirmed. We don't know yet, but we're also getting reports of planes flying there. According to Israeli media reports, the United States Air Force jets are currently operating within Iranian airspace. Literally right now, 2 hours ago. What is going on? And, of course, Iran, they're saying that they're at the point of no return. They did signal that they want to de-escalate hostilities with Israel and negotiate. But it may be a little bit too late for that now. Right now, like literally as of tonight. What we will see in the coming days is that the United States will be involved in the conflict and that Israel and the United States will target Iran's nuclear facilities. That is what it seems to be. That's what the plan seems to be, right? From our perspective, from a little peasant civilian angle, right? We can only speculate. Oh, mint tea. Okay. What else was I going to say about this? I don't remember what I was going to say about it. But yeah, hey. Might happen soon. Oh, yeah, I was going to say this. People have been kind of pointing out the fact that Israel is attacking Iran's military commanders, nuclear facilities, very strategic targeted attacks. Meanwhile, Iran is just blasting all these missiles and hitting, civilians and anything that they can manage to hit. There's no, like, real target like they used to do last year, right? Just wanted to point that out. Maybe, I don't know, they're maybe losing hope. They're just fighting back just to fight back, just to provide a response of some sort. You never know. But it's also proven that the Iron Dome isn't that effective, or their air defense system's not that great. The Slinger, whatever it was, yeah, it's some missiles are getting through, ballistic missiles especially, right? We shall see what happens. Maybe the United States will have to intervene. All right. World War III aside, let's talk about some other news. Trump Organization will... Oh, they have launched a Trump mobile phone. It's a new US-made phone service which introduces American-manufactured devices to the market. And get more from your wireless service. If you want to get one free follow, repost, and or drop. What? Okay, forget that. I just wanted to share the news that, hey, we're getting new Trump phones. Maybe in retaliation against what Apple has been doing. They don't want to come into the United States to make their phones, right? So the Trump is like, you know what? Fine, I'll make my own phones and outsell your iPhones. Maybe. I don't know. Because the guy, what's his name? Tim Cook had all his factories and stuff in China. China gets ultra tariffed, so he moves to India instead of moving to the United States. And Trump's like, okay, come on. The reason I tariffed China was so that you could come to the United States, but you just moved to India. Now I have to tariff India. Or I'm going to just have to tariff your products specifically until you come work in the United States. But he's like, but it's more expensive to make in the United States because everything else gets tariffed. Every material that we need to make iPhones is tariffed. So there's that little bit of an argument going on there. But Trump is trying to prove him wrong, and I don't know, installments of like $47, I think, is what you have to pay until you. I don't even know how much it fully costs, right? Oh, here it is. It's a 47 plan. Oh, it's funny. 47 president. It's a flagship mobile phone plan offered by Trump Mobile, which costs $47.45 per month. Offers unlimited talk, text, and data. Unlimited data, that is really cool. And roadside assistance and telehealth service. Okay, this actually might not be too bad. It's gold-colored smartphone that will be sold by Trump Mobile. Currently available for pre-order. Scheduled to be available in September 2025. I'm going to die by then. The phone costs $500. It's important to know that Trump Mobile and T1 Phone are not designed or manufactured by the Trump organization itself, but they're offered through a licensing agreement. Okay, cool. Thanks for the information. Saving me here. All right. We also got this. Truth Social will be filing for Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs, proving that Trump is still bullish on these assets. At least his family is. More integration. Shopify introducing crypto payments. You can now pay with USDC. You know, you got the options for credit cards, Shop Pay, and now you can use crypto, USDC, stablecoins. There you go. They introduced USDC payments on June 12 via partnership with Coinbase and Stripe. Stripe, of course, we already knew had this stuff integrated, so that's good. This is interesting, big if true. French lawmakers have proposed an amendment to integrate Bitcoin mining into the country's energy system by utilizing surplus nuclear power. That's a great way to do stuff. And this is a big liquidation warning, which it doesn't really concern me yet. Depending on how big this tonight's drop is, if we even do get a drop. Maybe this is all just, you know, fake talk, fake news. I don't think it is. I think we will get a drop tonight. That's what I'm expecting with the shorts that I got. 192 still losing on bid. Gosh. Anyways, if Bitcoin does fall below 100,000, $1.81 billion in longs will be liquidated, which would be great for shorters, but you should never short Bitcoin. Because like the whole point of Bitcoin is it go up forever. Why short, right? Oh boy. I mean, it's going to be a significant drop. I wouldn't mind that kind of a drop. I'll just keep on buying more. But yeah, we shall see. While we're talking about buying more, Sailor posted this over the weekend, and you know exactly what that means. Guess how much Bitcoin this guy just bought? $1.05 billion at an average price of 104,000. That's a pretty good price. 10,000 Bitcoins. How much does he have now? 592,000 Bitcoins. Almost 600,000. He's getting there. Average price of 76.66. Wow. Cool. Great stuff for Michael Saylor and his MicroStrategy. Tron is going public. They will be maybe adding them. I don't know. Maybe getting an IPO and listed on Wall Street. That would be pretty good for Tron, I guess. I don't know who asked for this, who would really want it, but hey, the option is there if you really want it. Justin Sun is taking Tron to Wall Street. U.S. listing confirmed. Is this real? Integration of USDT is a key player in global payments. Eric Trump leadership is, of course, Tron is also very closely associated with Trump and his family's projects, so that's also something to look out for. But yeah, we shall see. We'll see where that plays out. Well, speaking of USDT and Tether, by the way, apparently Tether froze $12.3 million in USDT, which was tied to suspicious Tron addresses. What is that about? What happened to decentralization? Literally. Like, we see this stuff with USDC happening most of the time, right? Oh, they freeze assets in USDC. And we're like, oh, that's why Circle sucks. It's not decentralized. But hey, apparently same situation goes on with Tether here. But hey, I don't know. It seems like it's for a good cause if these are for suspicious transactions. Okay, but what about the decentralization thing? Like, if I can use it, so can a criminal. Let him use it. That's my... I don't know. Anyway. Cardano is planning to buy Bitcoin with its $1.2 billion treasury. Maybe they'll also drop a billion. Charles Hoskinson, this is the CEO, he proposed converting some Cardano in the Cardano treasury into Bitcoin and stablecoins and use yield to buy back Cardano. Okay, that kind of makes sense. So you would stake, I guess, Bitcoin stablecoins, buy Cardano with that for your own treasury fund, and help maybe Cardano's price rise with that kind of movement. It could be the first real sovereign wealth fund in crypto. Seems like a decent idea. He's talked about it over here. But Solana co-founder says that it's really dumb to do that. Anatoly Yakovenko says that Cardano's plan to convert some Cardano into Bitcoin is so dumb. He argues the altcoin projects should hold US Treasury bills and not Bitcoin. Similar to what, most stablecoins do this. They hold US Treasury bills. Most altcoins also do this as well. But holding Bitcoin, they're like, okay, what are you doing? I thought Stacks does this too. I could be wrong. But whatever. Cardano seems to be one of the few that is trying to implement this. We'll see what their decision ultimately is. Vietnam passes a law recognizing crypto as property. Bullish. And this is pretty funny. Pump.Funds, literally the official account, got suspended. And I wonder why. And so is this guy, which is the founder of Pump.Fun, also got suspended. Why? Pump.Fun. I want to see why it got suspended. Is there any specific reason? Oh, okay. It's apparently multiple crypto-based platforms also. BullX, PumpFun, GMGM, Eliza OS. Suspension of crypto accounts is likely from them violating platform rules such as spam or manipulation. Automated replies and scraping. Others were they're saying this is an attack on crypto. There's no evidence targeted bias. There's really unclear, no official statements the reason why they got banned. Interesting. Maybe this because of scammers. I'm assuming some of these are scammers. I don't know them. But something like Pump.Fund, it's literally just a crypto exchange platform. Is this real? I'm assuming this is not real. Yeah, I'm assuming this is not real. That's pretty funny. Yeah, Pump.Fund suspended. Purges here. I'm assuming these guys are scammers on Pump.Fun, and they also banned Pump.Fun for providing the scams. Yeah, it could be accounts that have auto replies going out. But including Pump.Fun is strange. Oh, I didn't know this. Apparently the founder, that guy that I showed you, A1Lon9, just got arrested in his penthouse in New York City for unknown reasons. Okay, so it seems like it's something bigger then. Rip Pump.Fun. Yeah, there we go. Who cares? All right. How long have I been streaming? 50 minutes. Okay. Expect a big crash tonight. I expect to make $400 by the time I wake up. And maybe a couple pennies from that. Yeah, anyway, I mentioned my regrets with BID USDT. Not specifically BID, but just low cap tokens. You're more likely you're more prone to whale manipulation, right? Literally, some guy can drop, what is it? Another 20 million, and would this duplicate in price? Is that how it works? I assume it is. And that would just absolutely wreck the account. But I don't know who's gonna put $20 million in a 700 ranked token market cap position. You know what I'm saying, right? Like, come on. Who scrolls all the way to the number 700 on coin market cap is like, I'm gonna put $20 million on this coin. I watch somebody watching this video just blows me away like that. Yeah. A lot more people are shorting though, so we should expect to see price decay, hopefully so. Well, what is coming up next? Tuesday, tomorrow. Can I check the economic calendar? Retail sales, no one cares. Wednesday is going to be the most important day. Fed interest rate decision and economic projections. Yeah, nothing else. GDP next week, Thursday, and then PCE. That'll be important. ISM manufacturing jolts. Oh, cool. This is literally what we've been talking about. Gold rose to around $3,390 per ounce on Tuesday. Is that right now? I hope it's rising right now. Like right now. Kinda. Let me go to like a smaller time frame. Nah, we're kind of relaxed over here. 3,393. Tensions in the Middle East boosted demand for safe haven assets. Hey, brother, Bitcoin is a safe haven asset, whether you believe that or not. There's no tariffs on Bitcoin. There's no power over Bitcoin. It's the most decentralized currency. President Donald Trump urged immediate evacuation of Tehran after Israel intensified its bombings across Iran, targeting Iran's elite military force and state-owned media buildings. That is also true. There was a report of, not even a report, just a live stream of news. This Iranian lady giving the news, and her building just starts collapsing as it gets struck by an Israeli missile. So that does exist. It is happening. On Monday, what is bullion? Bullion? Okay, it's a gold bar, I assume. Didn't know that. Didn't know this term existed. Dropped 1.4%, marking its largest one-day fall in a month. Really? Amid reports that Iran is seeking to de-escalate hostilities with Israel. That did happen, right? This morning, they were looking for ways to de-escalate. They're willing to resume nuclear talks with the United States as long as Washington doesn't join the Israeli attacks. It seems like the opposite is happening, and that's why we see a little bit of a drop. On the economic front, investors will watch for May's retail sales and industrial production data due later today to gauge the strength of the U.S. economy. Attention is focused on the Federal Reserve's two-day policy meeting, which will conclude on Wednesday, with the Fed widely expected to hold rates steady. Markets are keen for signals on potential rate cuts in the months ahead. Like I said, given the projections that we're going to get, if we're still seeing two rate cuts, nothing much will change. I mean, it'll be fine if everything is dovish. If we see like 3 rate cuts, that'll pump markets or more, right? And if we see less rate cuts, it's going to crash markets. That's ultimately what we got to pay attention to. Russia orders for its citizens to leave Israel immediately. Okay. So it was China and now it's Russia. I guess they are expecting the United States to get involved so that these guys can also get involved, and that would start a World War III. Likely. Who knows? What is this? Man, I just hate scrolling through Twitter while live. There's just so much random stuff that could show up. Yeah, here's the dig at Tucker Carlson. Yeah, this is also true. I agree with this. So Israel just said that they are going to strike Tehran again, and Trump is just saying, okay, guys, get out of there. Everyone should immediately evacuate Tehran. He's not saying specifically my United States people, and that could be just other people taking this as a threat that the United States will be getting involved, when realistically Trump is just being like, hey, any soul that is in Tehran, get out, because only Israel, by themselves, by their own, actions, they've informed me that they will be bombing Tehran. So if you want to stay alive and not get blown up, get out. It's ultimately what he's saying. And Iran cannot have the nuclear weapon. They're likely just going to target the nuclear facilities. Hopefully that is the case. I assume so. So it's just hysteria, it seems like. That's what it seems to be at this moment. And maybe that claim that I showed you guys before, that the U.S. officials confirmed that there will be no U.S. involvement, that could provide some relief to the markets. It would be bad for my short, but you know what? I'd rather lose a couple dollars than die in a war. Am I right, fellers? All right. That concludes the stream. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. Thanks so much for all of you who already do that. How many subscribers do I have by now? I haven't been uploading much, so I don't expect a massive change in the numbers, but I expect something higher than before. Why can't I check my channel? I'm on my other monitor, by the way. It's literally not letting me... Okay. Upload a video, I guess. My channel. Dashboard. 417. Hey, that's not bad. Yeah, it is rising. Alright, great. So I do see the numbers going up. Thanks, guys, so much. At 1,000 subscribers, I'll enable monetization. Use that money towards the channel. Maybe get a webcam or something. I am a little bit keen to start putting my face out there. Even though nobody might want to see that, but whatever. Maybe. Face reveal at 1K, even though my face is literally in the profile picture. But yeah, you got the point. Alright, guys. That'll be all for today. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. And won't see you tomorrow. I'll be busy. And maybe Wednesday. No promises, though.